everybody, Carolyn here. Today I'm going to be doing a reorganization of my K-pop shelves and I am super excited. I am just about to finish editing this video and I realized I never filmed an intro. So hello, welcome to the video. This is something that I started working on probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe even close to a month ago at this point. So I decided earlier this year that I wanted to downsize my album collection. And for most of this year so far, I haven't really known what that means. So if you don't know, I've been collecting K-pop albums for about 10 years at this point, and I've moved quite a few times during that 10 years. And I used to love collecting everything for everybody. As I'm getting older and as I've been focusing more on other collections, I'm realizing that I don't use a lot of the stuff that I've been collecting over the years, and I don't listen to some of these groups anymore, or I just don't want every single version of all of their albums. And I have done a downsizing before off camera, kind of when I lived in the mountains of North Carolina for a year. This is probably close to like 4 years ago at this point. But when I lived there, I downsized a little bit moving up there, and then when I came back I downsized a little bit as well, but I haven't done like a big downsizing in pretty much ever, so this is gonna be this video. My goals for this video are really to just make more space in my collection, and I just want to be able to display my collection nicely in an aesthetic way. I do still own a lot of things. Spoiler alert, there's still a lot of albums by the end of this video. I just wanted things to look a little nicer, and you know, I don't plan on living in this apartment forever, and I would like to eventually move, but for right now we're staying here, and I only have so much space to work with, so I've just been kind of working on that. So yeah, that's pretty much this. I'm gonna get into the vlog portion of this video now. I am gonna do a video on my second channel of everything I downsized and why, so definitely look forward to that video on my second channel. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get into the vlog. Okay, so this is the first shelf. Keep in mind everything is very dusty right now, so we won't be getting too close. It will look better by the end of this video. But here's the top shelf. I do have some signed ATs up here. My cats were messing with my jewelry, so that's up here, but I did make a space for it in my closet, so that is going to be moving to my closet. And then here is my Wano section. I have a Wano signed album there. I have 2 weenie bongs. I don't need 2. One of them is broken, and I need to figure out which one is the broken one so that I can get rid of it. Here are my signed Wano fan sign albums. This is my 17 collection. It continues down here. And then this is just like extra photo books and DVDs and things that are like too big to fit elsewhere for like the alt groups, and also for other people, which will be downsized because it should only be alt groups. This shelf, I have all of my plushies at the top here. I don't really love the way this looks, but I don't really know what I would do about that. These are digipacks for IVE, Stray Kids, and Twice. This is my first Stray Kids shelf. This is where I keep my Zero Base One albums. Also, it's such a mess. And then this is where the chaos kind of begins. So you can see I have some albums sitting right there that I need to add here. Also my vitamins. But this is like the second Stray Kids shelf. It also has like ATs, P1 Harmony, like it has so much random stuff on it. And then we have IVE and Zero Base One, but as you can see, there's like the Rolling Stones magazine for Stray Kids is over there. And then these are my Meow Cafe and Prism Platinum binders. This is the shelf you probably are most familiar with if you watch any of my content. I love this shelf, but there's definitely some changes that need to be had here, but I'll go over real quick what's on the shelf, and then we can talk about like changes overall that I want to accomplish with this reorganizing. So up here, this entire top row is like everything jewel case sized. I do have my Monsta X jewel cases in the middle here, and then these are my Monsta X albums. This is like the most recent Korean release little like shelf here, and then it keeps going. These are all of my albums. These are all of the Kinos I have. We have this Sungchan album here, but besides that, it's just like Monsta X everywhere. And then these are all of my signed albums. This is like my little US album shelf here, has all the US albums there. more signed albums. And then down here is where it starts like all of the other random groups. So this has just like everybody else. Like it's everything else that I collect, and it's just kind of a lot. So yeah, so here's my thought process for the beginning of this. The first thing I think I need to do is take things off of shelves and dust these shelves. They desperately need to be dusted. And then I think we just kind of, I want to have these top shelves be like all of the jewel case stuff for alt groups. So like I want to keep Monsta X here, but I want to move Stray Kids and Wano at least over here. That's kind of my goal. So like I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I also need more space for Monsta X because they're back from the military now. So these two shelves have to go. Also, I need to finish a couple of binders here because they need to be archived. There are a couple binders outside of here right now. These need to be archived. There's a couple binders in here I need to finish up and like take off of these shelves. That is kind of what I want to be on this shelf. I definitely want to keep Monsta X like this, but I need to find a way to like give them more space. I'm a little concerned about the amount of signed albums I have. Like, I don't know if there's anything else I can do with that, but we'll see. And then yeah, I'm just gonna go through all of this stuff. I would like to keep Monsta X, Stray Kids, I've, Wano, Zero Base 1, Infinite, 17, and Twice. So those are like the groups that I want to keep like everything for. So there's that. So I want to kind of make this like Wano, Monsta X, Stray Kids. Though it really depends on how much space Stray Kids is going to take up, because I would love to turn like either this into like space for larger items like fan club kits and DVDs and things like that, or have like space at the bottom here for that, or have space at the bottom here for that. This shelf I would like to do I've, Twice, and Zero Base 1. I want to get rid of this. I don't like this. I don't want this here anymore. So I need to figure out a new system for this, for all the stuff here, or a new place for all the stuff here. But yeah, so I think I've, Twice, Zero Base 1, and then like Infinite over here. And then this shelf, I want to keep 17 on this shelf. They've lived here for a long time, but I want to kind of turn this, which like I'm also concerned about this. Like, what am I going to do with those, you know? I don't know. It's going to take some messing around. We might keep that and then just use these bottom, like this bottom shelf for like other albums, or like two of these shelves. Like maybe we move this up here. I kind of like the little AT shrine when there's not a bunch of stuff up there. Also, I want to keep my Johnny Ball, but the goal is I want to have some sort of system for where I can have extra albums, but like just downsize what I currently have. This shelf I kind of want to be like the extra shelf, because I feel like it's the shelf you see the least in my content, but I do want to have like, also look at these cats, they're so cute over here. But I do want to have like alt groups over here. But I feel like if you look up here and you look kind of closely, there's a bunch of like extra albums from other groups here that I feel like I don't necessarily need anymore. There are still albums I want to keep. For example, just like looking real close here, like I want to keep this Jonghyun bass album. It's a very important album to me. Oh, also I'm keeping my Eunbi albums. I don't think I said that, but like Eunbi, Twice, I've, and then I want to have some select albums from other groups that I either have like sentimental attachments to or just want to keep for whatever reason. But I really do want to try to downsize what I buy that's like not an alt group, and I think this will be a good step to do that. And yeah, I just wanted to film this little before so you can see what it looked like beforehand. Okay, it's been like 2 weeks since I filmed the first part of this video, but we're actually going to do things today. Today, I think we're gonna do Peep the Sleeping Cats. Today, I think we're gonna do this shelf because it's a Sunday, it's a weekend day, and I feel like I can do the other shelves during the weekdays. But I feel like I can't do this shelf during a weekday. Also, in my defense, I was out of town for a weekend, and then I had to do some other reorganizing in my apartment and deep cleaning before I could do this, because I'm taking these things off my shelves, but I'm not getting rid of them right away. So like I needed space to like put these things while I was deciding if I actually like this setup. So I'm gonna take Monsta X off the shelves, like these 2 rows of shelves, wipe those shelves down, because I did like a brief wipe down of those shelves, and then I am gonna take everything else off, minus like my binders. I also did that recently. I finished all of my binder spines this past week. It was my activity after work every day this week, which was finish my binder covers and make them all updated. Everything's updated except for my Monsta X 2025 non-album activities binder, because I need a new Monsta X album to make a binder cover for that. We're gonna go ahead and work on that, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. I'm a little afraid of what it's gonna look like, to be honest. Hi, welcome back. I just took everything off of these shelves. This is all my signed albums, and then my Monsta X collection lived up here, minus the digipacks. I'm gonna kind of do that whole shelf as one thing, but it's kind of crazy how much stuff was on those two shelves. I made a TikTok about it. I was like, I could literally never be a minimalist because I've just been collecting this group that has so many releases for so long. But yeah, I took everything off of these shelves and I wiped them down. I'm gonna put everything back like exactly how it was before. So I just wanted to like give these a good wipe down for right now. I am gonna film a video re-sleeving my signed album collection, but I think I might just like place them on this shelf, not like put them back exactly how they were before for right now, just because I do want to clean out these two shelves before the end of the day today. And I also want to post my photo card trades today. I did all this work for it yesterday and I haven't done it yet, but it's a big project. I've been a little overwhelmed, which is why I haven't started it yet, but I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be okay. I think it's gonna look great at the end of it. It's just like getting there is a whole process. I'll update you once I've taken things off of this shelf, and maybe we'll talk about what I'm keeping and what I'm not. I don't even know. I mean, I have an idea, right? Like I have a concept of a plan, if you will, but yeah, I don't really know yet. So I'll touch back in a moment. Okay, so this is what happened. I went through and I condensed this from three, I guess, completely full shelves to this 1.5 shelf. It's not really organized in any particular way right now, but this is everything I pulled off that shelf. This is everything I pulled off the shelf. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of put everything aside for 2 weeks and see if I really want to keep it. I had 3 copies of Overdrive, or 4, I guess, 4 copies of Overdrive. There's a couple things like these treasure albums. I might end up like pulling these back out. I have all 3 of my biases, but I just put June Q back up there. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to see how much space that would take up. These are just my signed albums, and this is a mess because I'm going to film a video re-sleeving everything. So they're just sitting like that for right now while I reorganize everything, but this is what's going on. Also, I might end up reorganizing this Monsta X shelf. I just put everything back as is. Now we got to go through these 2 shelves. It's taking a little longer than I originally anticipated. I'm glad that we like are at least starting this process. So I'm gonna pull everything off of these 2 shelves and I'll let you know. I'm just kind of going off of feeling currently, and just like when I look at an album, I'm like, do I want to keep it? And if I don't say yes in the first like 30 seconds, then it goes in the maybe pile. Anyways, my point is that I'm just trying to like really, does this album bring me joy? Do I still want it on my shelf? I'm trying to think about it in terms of like if I move again too. I've moved a couple of times in the past few years. I've lived here for almost 3 years, but I've moved a couple times since I have started my K-pop collection, and moving an album collection it's a lot. So it's kind of why I'm thinking like, would I put this in a box and move with it again? Is kind of what I'm going for, instead of like, does this bring me joy? Would I put this in a box and move with it and unpack it again? So for anything that's not an alt group, I've been finding that I want to keep like some treasure, some NCT, some ATs. So just from like the digipacks, there's some things like my Red Velvet collection. I was like, I don't even really listen to Red Velvet anymore, so I'm gonna be rehoming that collection. What else did I put over here? There was some aespa over here. I was like, I don't know if I need aespa albums anymore. I think I kept a couple. Le Seraphim, same thing. Super Junior, I'm downsizing that. I had a lot of duplicates for like 17 ATs that I put in this pile. That's what we got going on so far. I'm gonna get back to it. Update. I emptied out those shelves. I did end up saving quite a bit of albums, so we might have to go through that again at some point. But like I said in my original plan, I wanted to have one of these shelves be like for extra albums. But I don't know, we might go through it again. But I did take out quite a bit of stuff as you can see down here. So yeah, I think I want to do one more thing today. I think I want to move my Stray Kids collection over here. I really think I do, just to see it, and then we can kind of go from there as far as like what's next. But I know I have a bunch of like spare Stray Kids albums from their most recent releases that I haven't put on my shelf yet because there's no room for it. So I kind of want to move Stray Kids over here just to see what it looks like. Let's do that real quick. It won't take very long. We can do it really quick. Okay, it's been a couple days since I updated you. I also meant to update you. Oh my gosh, the lighting right now. I meant to update you a couple days ago, but then I got a migraine. Super fun, super fun. We love living in North Carolina where there's lots of pollen, and then it was rainy, and it just did wonders on my brain. And by wonders, I mean I was suffering. So anyways, I'm going to show you the update, what we have going on right now. I ended up doing more than I was expecting the other day, but let me just show you what I've done so far. So starting off over here, I did remove all of the Stray Kids digipacks. So this is just Ive and Twice up here now. I did move Ive to this shelf up here. And I do have this Wooyeon album here because I just didn't adjust my shelves. I was too lazy, so I put that there. This shelf hasn't changed at all, but I do think I want to make this the Zero Base 1 shelf. I think I might move this to like, there's some stuff on my desk that I can't show you because it's like personal stuff, but I kind of want to put it here. I'm going to move this Wano poster up there. I still have not hung that because I think I want to redo this entire section of my desk, but it's fine. That's a later project. But I do think I want to move like this over there so it's not on the shelf anymore. This is my Infinite shelf. I feel like I'm missing Infinite albums, but I don't know. Anyways, this is what's going on here. And then I have Zero Base 1 down there. Sorry, the lighting is like crazy. It's like 5:30 p.m. so the lighting's a little crazy. But anyways, that's what's happening here. This shelf didn't change at all. I did not add the most recent releases for Ive and Zero Base 1 here yet, but we will get there. Over here we have a cat. Over here we have another cat. But this is the big shelf. What's going on here right now? I did end up moving 17 over here and Stray Kids. I thought I would like 17 here, but I really don't like it. I'm probably going to change this. I'm posting a video on TikTok about it because I hate it and I want suggestions. I did move Stray Kids over here. I'm planning on using this shelf as like a Stray Kids display for most recent release shelf, kind of the way I treat this Monster X shelf. Most people might not know that because I haven't changed this in a very long time, but I do put the most recent Monster X release here. So I'm going to do the same thing for Stray Kids. Also, look at all this space. These are all my signed albums. I am going to film a video at some point in my life re-sleeving my signed albums, so that's why they're all just like there. I also filmed a video with them for TikTok, so I took them off. These shelves are pretty much the same. The Monster X one isn't really different. There's only so much I can do, but I don't really know what to do because one of the things I needed was more Monster X space, and I feel like we have yet to achieve that, but it's fine. Up here, I took down a bunch of digipacks that I didn't want anymore. I put up some, like these are all ones I'm keeping, and like these are all ones I'm keeping, and I feel like that's still too many. We'll talk about that more in a second, but like, yeah. But anyways, I hate the way 17 looks over here right now, so we have to figure something else out. Over here, this is like the I was done for the day shelf because this is not organized or looks nice at all. It just simply is. But I was working on this for like 4 hours, which I literally was not expecting to spend that much time on it. I was like, I'll just do a quick wipe down and organization of my shelves. Like, it'll take me like no time at all. Anyways, this is everything that I decided to keep. It includes my Twice collection, so like it's bigger than it like really is. But yeah, I feel like I need to go through and downsize this more. Also, I did not touch the Wano shelf. That's literally the same. I didn't do anything with that shelf, or the bottom shelf. I did not mess with that at all. But I feel like I need to get rid of more things. Like, I feel like I started off being very strict. Like, I'm only gonna keep like a couple albums, and I feel like I ended up keeping more than that. So I think we're gonna have to go through and like look at this again. But I feel like I was pretty strict, but I still ended up with so much stuff, and I feel like I didn't end up with like as much extra space as I was hoping. So we're probably gonna have to go through everything again. Anyways, that's the current situation of this. I'm gonna go through it again this weekend. It's Thursday. No, it's not Thursday. It's Wednesday. Oh my God, it's only Wednesday. It's Wednesday right now on the day that I'm filming this clip. We're gonna go through it again this weekend. Maybe on Friday. I work a half day on Friday, so maybe Friday we'll go through it again, but I think we need to be even stricter. There were also some releases like for NCT especially where I was like, oh, maybe I'll keep a digipack, and then I also like kept a photo book version, so I kind of want to go through that again and be like, I only want to keep one album. Same with like ATs, like I don't really need a photo book version if I have a digipack or two, so we're gonna go through the digipacks again. We'll go through the extra albums again. I haven't like sold anything. Everything is just like in a storage container right now in my closet because I just was like, I'm just gonna put this aside and see what we think. That's the update. I'll talk to you again this weekend probably. Hello, welcome to the end of the video. We made it. Everything is done and organized. Obviously things are not going to be perfect. I'm going to keep changing things, but this is what my collection looks like right now. Let me show you around my room. Okay, so this is my shelf kind of next to my bathroom. So I still have my signed ATEEZ albums up here. I did re-sleeve them in Meow Cafe sleeves. So they're looking a lot nicer right now, but I still kept these up here. I took everything else out. I deep cleaned my closet as well and moved my jewelry into there. So yeah, and then my Wano shelf, I didn't change that much. I did have 2 light sticks, and so I got rid of the one that was broken, and I took this out of the box, the little like tumbler from his Japanese pop-up, and yeah, I also moved all of his jewel cases off of here and put them on my main Monsta X shelf. And then this is the signed album section. I re-sleeved the signed albums, but basically this hasn't changed at all. This is my new extra groups albums. I decided to leave it for right now, but I think we will do more regular like check-ins, especially once it becomes like summertime or when there's a bunch of comebacks coming up. I'm definitely gonna reassess this shelf. For right now, I just have my signed Jin album. I have my signed The Beat Goes On album, my signed Johnny Ball from the concert, and then it's just in rainbow order, but this is like non-alt groups. And then down here, I still have a bunch of extra large inclusions. I have a bunch in my closet as well. I have a little cube shelf in there where I have a bunch of stuff, but I did downsize this a little bit. I looked through things and was like, I don't need that, and I got rid of a couple things there. I actually haven't sold anything yet, but I removed them from the shelf. All right, so this is how this shelf is looking. I kept all of the plushies at the top there, and then I moved my cup sleeves. They were on the Wano shelf. I moved them over here. These are all of my digipacks for Twice and IVE and Zero Base 1, so they're all up there. I have my little IVE set up here. I've got my 2 little plushies, and then my calendar, my season's greetings for this year, and then all of their albums. And then for Zero Base 1, I had Chang'ao and Hanbin as well for the super large version of that album, and I decided I'm only going to keep Matthew because it's just so giant. But this is my little setup here. I have my season's greetings. I think I could probably decorate this a little more, but I'm a little stressed about how full this is already. And this is my Twice album section. So it just has all of my big Twice albums here. I did downsize my Twice collection like a while ago. So I would like to rebuild my Twice collection a little bit, but we'll see. And then I've got my Infinite albums down here. So I have my She's Back Japanese limited edition, my signed Infinite New Challenge album, and then just the rest of my Infinite albums there. And then this didn't change at all, though I am close to finishing a couple of these binders, so I will be moving them to the archived shelf in my closet soon. But that's how this shelf is looking. And then this is the final look through of this shelf here. So starting over here, I have all of the digipack size things for Monsta X, Stray Kids, and then this is just like everybody else over here. But Monsta X and Stray Kids are like that much. And then I have my Monsta X albums over here. I tried to put my signed albums throughout the shelves. I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And then I have my little Changyun set up here still. I don't have a ton of room for Monsta X still, but they're kind of slowly working on an album, so I feel like I have a little more time to kind of figure this out. And then these are the rest of my signed albums, the US albums. I did put the Mon Mungchi Season's Greetings over here. The main Monsta X one is on my shelf, the Pages of Monsta X one. And then over here I have my Stray Kids and 17 collections. So this is probably the biggest change for this shelf. And yeah, it's pretty cute. I put my Stray Kids Season's Greetings over here. And then of course all of my binders. They weren't all decorated by the beginning of this video, but now they are all decorated. There's a couple that are gonna go away soon, like that one is almost done. 101, wherever that is, that binder. That one's almost full. This Infinite one will probably be archived soon. There's a Twice one that's gonna be archived soon. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this little like reorganizing with me video. I thought it was really fun to film and take you guys along for the journey. I also posted a lot of content on my YouTube shorts and my TikTok. So if you're not following me either here on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. And then also on my TikTok, be sure to follow me over there. I've been posting a lot of content on TikTok recently, which is really funny because it's almost been banned twice this year alone. But I've really been enjoying posting over there as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye!